Hello, happy hump day. I'm on my laptop because I haven't had a chance to work on or diagnose my bigger computer. And I'm trying this while walking. So if this is loud, let me know. But I'm live. And I also have a cold. So I sound like I have a cold or that I'm trying to be a man. Neither of which, well, I do have a cold. I'm not trying to be a man, but I'm sorry. I still sound weird. Hopefully the audio is coming through fine though. I see there's people here in comments, so we'll get started. It is so beautiful and sunny here, so I hope you're getting some winter sunshine. It's not always something you can count on in Michigan. But JD says, hello to you. And JD says, I've been trying to fast for 36 hours, but sometimes I can do 24, 25 hours. I did for 3 weeks, 36 hours, but did not lose any weight, some inches. This discouraged me so much. This week, nevertheless, I did one day, 36 hours, then 24 and 23. Well, first of all, if I take a step back and someone said, okay, do you want your number to change or do you want the visual of you to change? Which one would you pick? And I think most people, if you have a goal of losing weight, you want to get smaller. So I would personally rather inches lower than numbers, even though the numbers is the one that we're more used to discussing or having be a goal. So I first commend you for actually taking inches. That takes a lot more effort to measure yourself and to compare it. That is what I would personally want more than the scale to show movement. So I would be really happy with that if I were you, that you are still losing inches that can show body recomposition. I know personally, I weigh a little bit more than I did. I'm trying to think, like after I got married, I was like 137 pounds. I'm like 150 is where I teeter, 147 to 153 on any given day. But I'm about the same size. Well, probably not right when I got married, but I'm about the same size I was after I had my second daughter, like fit in clothes wise. I can still fit in my wedding dress, but I don't have the same weight. But body recomposition, I could have like more muscle. My body can look visually the same and weigh the same or way different, if that makes sense. So getting smaller doesn't have to be weight. And I'm not an expert on that by any means. But also fasting doesn't just mean weight loss. So you could be healing something. You could be, autophagy could still be cell renewal. You might be kind of freaking your body out. Like, okay, is this a starvation mode? And you're learning a new pattern of, hey, even when we do these longer fasts, we can still burn fat. We don't have to save this for a starvation mode. Your body might just be learning. So I would stick with it. It's going to keep getting easier. And I do think that the down day and up day approach, I hope after 36 hours, you're refeeding properly. That is something I would pay attention to. So if you're doing that and you're properly refeeding, I do think the weight loss will come. And it's not going to continue to be like, I got to 36 hours. You'll be like, hey, I did another 36-hour fast. It'll just be another thing that you're able to do in your fasting toolbox. And make sure you're properly refeeding and make sure that the number isn't the only metric. But I'd be very surprised if you don't find success continued with the continued fasting. I did at least. But I'm sorry you're discouraged. Focus on the good things. Hi, Kylene. Kylene said there may be lots of other things that are being healed. Exactly. And I'm trying to think here are really quickly off the top of my head. I had a foot fungus go away that I used to have for a decade, not weight related. My eyesight improved. I had the same prescription for 8 years in a row. My eyesight improved on its own. That was not weight related. I no longer have blood signs of fatty liver disease, and I used to. That probably is because I lost visceral fat, but it's not necessarily something that you see on the scale. I have a scar that almost healed itself. That's not a weight victory. My skin has cleared up substantially. Not a weight victory. I feel better. Not a weight victory. I sleep better. Not a weight victory. So I implore you to think of all the other things that maybe are benefiting you, and hopefully the weight loss will follow. But don't let it be the only metric of success. I think it's successful that you did 36-hour fasts and that you continue to do them. That's pattern and that's behavior change. And I think that's awesome. My mom says, happy Valentine's Day. Hi, Mom. Happy Valentine's Day to you, too. What's up? Anyone doing something fun for Valentine's Day? We are doing the same thing we've done, I don't know how many years in a row. We're going to Qdoba because my kids love Qdoba. I like Qdoba, but they do buy one, get one free on Valentine's Day. And if you know me, I like free and I like deals. So I don't have to cook. I get to eat somewhere I like, and it's half off essentially. So yay, that's what we're doing. And if you're a Qdoba Rewards member, you could get BOGO too. Hello, Starbright. Hello, Megan. Oh, I like the wave. Excuse me. Harold says, happy Valentine's Day from Washington with the gummy bears. Hi, Harold. I hope you're doing well. I hope it's a beautiful sunny day in Washington, too, because I feel really lucky that it's sunny here today. Anastasia, hello in the UK. Someday I hope I can be in the UK or anywhere in Europe, really. But hello, thank you for joining. Luna says, hello, beautiful. Well, thank you. That is so nice of you. Hello, beautiful to you too. Yes, I'm on the treadmill now, Salem asks. Salem Slim. I like the alliteration there. I just figured if I was going to be on my laptop that I'd try to get some steps in. I'm trying to just walk more for mental health, really. I like walking, and I do a lot at my computer, so my watch is always telling me to stand more, so I'm trying to do that. If it's distracting, though, I would love that feedback because I won't do it. It's kind of hard with the cold, though. I feel congested, and walking and breathing and talking, I'm like, maybe not the best idea, Jackie, to start today. Yes, Teresa is kind of going back, echoing that you'd rather the visual change than strictly the number. And I don't say that at all, JD, to be like, it doesn't matter, because I know that I'd be facing the same frustration. But focusing on the positive is important too. So let's see. Flower says, so is a 2-hour window to have your meal pretty standard? I'm very, very new to this. I honestly would be horrible to tell you what a standard is. I think there are so many ways to approach intermittent fasting. And I think that you have to kind of find what works for you, which if you're starting can be really frustrating. But I'll go back to tell you how I started and how I got to where I am. I would say my standard 2 hours is probably a little bit longer than my standard, but within this past week, and I need to get back to sharing my daily things on Sunday. I just got out of the habit with the holidays and I need to do it again. I had a 5.5 hour eating window. That wasn't an update. It was just, I had a long eating window. I had a 20-minute eating window. Yesterday was an hour and a half. And I do it. I don't focus on getting a certain amount of time. I focus on having one meal. So what I do, and what I started with was, my goal was to fast until 4 p.m. every day and close my eating window by 10. So I thought I'll have 18 hours of a fast and a 6-hour eating window. Well, when I adjusted and I pretty much learned, I didn't like eating right before bed, which 10 o'clock put me kind of close to bed. I don't go to bed that early. I wish I did, but I learned that I like closing my eating window earlier. And I really found waiting till 4 o'clock, I enjoyed having a giant meal, really enjoying it. I didn't have, I'm trying to think, we made ziti yesterday, and that short is going out like any second now. I enjoyed being able to get a bowl, have second helpings, put cheese on it, have the rolls with it, have the Brussels sprouts, and not worry about portions. Just simply enjoy the meal. And I found I can really enjoy the single meal. I don't need anything else. Sometimes that means I'm snacking as I'm making the meal. Sometimes that is simply just the pasta dish. Sometimes that means I have dessert as well. Yesterday it was snack, the ziti meal, and I had a punchki with Fat Tuesday. I found just through trial, even though my goal when I started was fast 18 hours, have a 6-hour eating window, I found so much satisfaction when I ate closer together because of how I like to eat. I've always been a volume eater. So if that sounds like, some people see my videos and they're like, oh my God, I can never eat that much food in that short a time, then that's obviously not the plan for you. If you like to have smaller meals, then you might like to have the 6-hour eating window that I originally planned. That might suit you better. What I would focus on is building a fasting muscle, and then start to play around. You could, you're really good at fasting 16 hours. You built that muscle. See if you like fasting 20 hours and having a 4-hour eating window. After you try that for a little bit, you might say, you know what? I actually really do like that. I find that even at 20 hours fasted, I don't feel like breaking my fast yet. So then you can try 22 too. And if you're like, wow, by the time I get to 22, I don't like the way I feel when I open my eating window, I think I need to go back to 24. There is no right or wrong. And you can break it up. You can do it differently every single day. I only found what I do by trial and error, and I change it up all the time. So I do down days. Then I follow that up with an up day. And then I do mostly OMAD on top of that. So I'm very fluid. I allow myself to try different things. And I know that's one of the reasons I share with you guys so much of what I do, is I think it's really important to have variety, to have different window lengths, to be committed to fasting, but allow yourself flexibility beyond that, because then you're going to be able to incorporate whatever life throws at you and still have it be part of your life because you know how to flex your windows. That's a long way to say, I don't know what a standard is. I don't have the data to tell you what other people do. For me personally, I think my norm is about 22 hours of a fast, a 2-hour eating window, maybe a little smaller, but it took a lot of trial and error. And I would not say that what I do is perfect for everyone, but fasting offers so many different ways to employ it that I encourage you to do that. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Says my hair is so cute today. And I do this every Wednesday. Well, I always do my hair appointments on Wednesdays so that it's done for a live. And I try to record videos because my hairstylist styles my hair. So I just got it done today. I go once every 3 months. So May 15th, my hair will be new again. But I do appreciate that. St. Louis Ammo Man's down 55 pounds. Maybe I'm assuming that's wrong, but that's how I read that, St. Louis Ammo Man. But I'm proud of you. Congrats. That's amazing. Because I have you on the line and you have the comment, we were going to do our little trip out west. We're saving that for summertime due to scheduling conflicts with our kennel. But I think we're driving to Arkansas and we're going to go through St. Louis on our way down. Do you have a food or a family fun recommendation? I think we found, I wish I could think of what it's called. It's like a museum play area, but they have like a giant rooftop slide and it's extremely interactive. But if you have a food place we should check out in St. Louis, I'm all ears and I would love to know, because personally, that's my favorite part of vacationing, is trying different restaurants and all that stuff. So I'm looking for your comment if you're actually St. Louis Ammo Man. Hi, Heather in North Carolina. Another state I've never been to that I need to. Hey, Kieran, about to lace up my shoes and get my walk on in my lunch break. Fasting lunch for me today. That's the best. I wish I had fasting when I was a working lady, because I would have done the same thing. So I hope you enjoy your walk. You're gonna enjoy Valentine's dinner with my hubs and little. Aw, I bet she's gonna have the cutest Valentine hair. I just imagine like braided pigtails with ribbons. I want to see it. But happy Valentine's Day to you and enjoy your walk. Let's see. Flowers said, did you have any side effects when you first started? Yes. I was very fasting was actually easier for me, but by the time I got to my eating window, I turned into a vacuum. So I learned to be very cognizant of what I was around when I opened my eating window. I would just eating window, suck it all in. It didn't take me long to break that behavior because it didn't feel good. And then if I ate a sleeve of Girl Scout cookies, or I don't even know what, but I know I'm I remember once eating so much processed cookie, and then I literally couldn't even enjoy my dinner. I didn't like that. I was like, I actually really look forward to this dinner, but I ruined it by stuffing myself with food that I didn't actually like because I was like, and that's just at the beginning. Like that's, in my mind, part of the process of learning to fast and learning to break your eating window break into your eating window and what makes you feel good and what doesn't make you feel good. And slowly I've like morphed into realizing breaking my fast with proteins or even vegetables or just different things. Or if I do have chips, I have things with the chips, not just chips, because that will not end as well. I've learned this just by trial and error. So I stopped being a vacuum. And this I've said so many times, but I'm sorry every time I have to say it, you guys have to hear it. I got diarrhea every time I broke my fast for a while. Not like every time, but almost. I wouldn't open my eating window if I wasn't around a bathroom. My stomach would just like instantly like pains, diarrhea, over. And that passed. Like I just had to get through that. And then I did have constipation issues, but I started taking magnesium. And now that I take Element every day or almost every day, I don't take the magnesium anymore and I haven't had any issues. But I think it was kind of like my body just kind of freaking out. Like, are we eating? Are we not? What's going on? We haven't been digesting for 18 hours and now you want us to work again? But it was all, in my experience, part of the transition and learning to do it. And it did pass. And I'm thankful to say I can eat without diarrhea now. Oh, and I got and this was about probably the first week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. When I ate, I would just feel like the what you think of as Thanksgiving when you eat the turkey, like so tired. As soon as I ate, I felt so tired. And thankfully that did subside. Let's see. Salem Slim, I have a question. If I eat carbs and fast for 18 hours minimum, can I reverse my insulin resistance in like 8 months? That is a very specific question. And if you've ever been around long, you know, I kind of shy away from medical questions. Not kind of, I do, because I'm not a medical professional. So I don't know. I have talked to people on my podcast. I've talked to friends chatting on Instagram that have reversed insulin resistance. I don't know how long it took them. I was never diagnosed as insulin resistance, but people pointed out, like when I talk about different things that were healed from fasting, it sounds like you may have had insulin resistance. And I was like, I've never considered that. But then when I look it up and I'm like, oh, like I used to have really dark armpits. I haven't ever even talked about that, I don't think. But like, I think that can be a sign of insulin resistance and like skin tags or all these different things. And I'm like, maybe I did have it. I don't know. And it's not something I can really talk on because I've never faced it myself, but I know people do it. But as far as time frame, carbs, not carbs, it's just so outside my wheelhouse. I don't feel qualified to give you an answer, and I'm sorry. Daniswa, I probably said that wrong. Daniswa, very pretty name, from South Africa. Hello. Oh, St. Louis Animal Man's eating Qdoba right now. Okay, I want to know what you ordered. I am debating. I used to get the nachos, but they have their Mexican gumbo right now, which is a soup. I think I'm probably going to get that. That sounds good, but it always sounds good, Qdoba. I haven't had it in a long time, though. That's one of those habits that I changed just because it stopped feeling good. My husband and I used to get Qdoba chips and queso after the kids went to bed. It was like, I'd call it late night, date night, and I'd eat it right before I went to bed. If I try to do that now, I can't do it. I feel so good fasting and having an eating window and fasting again. When I have a later eating window with chips and Qdoba queso and I go right to bed, I wake up and the next morning I'm like, nope, not doing that ever again. Or if I do, not for a very long time. And I'm like, you know what? That's good with me. I love their queso. I will have it on whatever entree I have, but it won't be right before bed. Karen says, my favorite non-scale victory is fasting gives me the best sleep ever, and I can, for the first time, run a mile without stopping. Woohoo! Never did that in my whole life. Crazy fasting non-scale victories. Yes, I love that. I still haven't tried to run a mile. I probably don't have that one myself. I'm not a runner. I'm a walker. But yes, my sleep, I didn't realize I had bad sleep until I got fasting sleep. And I'm like, wow, I sleep so much better. Hockey, Mount Avalon. I saw you liked my hockey video. That was my first hockey video hockey game in 19 years. They're so much fun. I don't know why we don't go to them. I don't necessarily understand the game, but I love the environment. But hello. Hi, M. Hardin in Tennessee. Tessarina. Probably didn't have to throw my R, but that's what it reminded me of. Hello to you. Bobini Creates. Hello. Stu saying hi to everyone. First time catching a live, a new if person here. Well, welcome. I'm really excited for you. I love new fasters because I love thinking of how I felt when I first started getting into fasting and realizing it was sustainable and joyful. And I just hope you find the same thing because it would change my life. And I want the same for literally anyone that has suffered from diets in the past. So welcome. I hope you stick around. Oh, you're in the Bahamas. I've never been. It's on my to go to list. I want to travel everywhere. But thank you for stopping and saying hello. Bobini Creates says, I've been binge watching your videos. Thank you. It's helping so much and re-listening to Fast Feast Repeat. That's amazing. Well, I'm so glad you're here. And thanks for watching the videos because that helps me too. Let's see here. Heather says, Jackie, you made me see ADF differently. I can now see it as a tool to use the up and down day. Going to try it, although I kind of dread it, 500 calories only. Well, I honestly kind of like the game of it. And I don't know if that would help you, but thinking of it like, how can I game this 500 calorie meal? And then, so I just had a down day and an up day this weekend. I did a down day on Saturday before the Super Bowl because I knew I'd be like, we went and got Jimmy John's after church on the up day. And then I was going to be tasting like the beef or salsas or getting stuff out for the Super Bowl. And I just wanted the ability to be eating that time. And to me, it was kind of a game of how can I get ready for the Super Bowl? I made banana bread. I made my crumble copycat cookies on Saturday during my down day. And I still really had the joy of, but I find joy in baking and cooking. So like baking and making something and my daughter really liking the banana bread when I made it or having the crumble cookies, knowing that I was going to have them the next day at the Super Bowl when I did have my longer eating window was super satisfactory to me. And then on top of it, I'm like, okay, how can I build this 500 calorie meal? How can I really make it satisfactory? And this one, I haven't done in a long time, but it was simply one of all these German cans of soup. It was a potato, leek, vegetable, lentil. There's a lot of like veggies in it. For being a canned soup, it was super good. It was 450 calories. I had a drink with it and it was very filling and satisfactory. And then it felt like, I beat that 500 calorie meal. It was filling. I enjoyed it. And then I got to have the joy of the up day. So I hype myself up for the up day when I'm doing the down day. You can do it. I'm cheering for you. And I hope you report back to if you like it. But I definitely use it as a tool, not a lifestyle. When I tried it as a lifestyle, it wasn't for me. Going back to what works for one person isn't going to be the same, but it's a tool I use. And I think it's awesome that you learned that as like an option. It doesn't have to be like your lifestyle of fasting. Jackie says, no matter how hard I try, I can't do OMAD. I now fast full days on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Eat 2 meals on the other 4 days. It really suits me. It's all trial and try and see what's best for you. It must be a Jackie thing. We're on the same path. That is the perfect illustration. I find so much joy in OMAD, but that doesn't mean everyone will. Other Jackie finds so much, well, I hope you find so much joy. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you say it really suits you. I think that is a great option, but it wouldn't be what works best for me in my lifestyle. I like to eat with my family most days. It really works for me what I do, but both of us are fasters. Both of us are trial and error. And I love that illustration. So thank you for sharing that, Jackie. Excuse me. I really wish this was a conversational at some points, because M. Harden says, how can I control my eating when I open my window after a 22 to 23 hour fast? Excuse me. The number one way that I personally learned was by doing it the wrong way. So when I overate, say, the Girl Scout cookies, I just never liked having the non-enjoyment of my meal. So I learned if I overeat or I eat things that really didn't sound good, but they're in front of me, and I would really not do it well. The rest of my eating window wouldn't be as enjoyable. So that behavior and like the disappointment of not enjoying the rest of the eating window really helped me to not do it in the future. 2, planning my window openers was something that was really helpful to me. I'm still not the best at doing it because I'm not as bad about opening my eating window and inhaling everything. But when I have things on hand, knowing that are good options for me if I want to open my eating window not with dinner, like cottage cheese, pistachios, pepitas, cheese sticks. Lately, Aldi has the dried out steaks, used to be called biltong. I really like those. Having options that are high protein that I also really enjoy help me to open my eating window without binging. So being very intentional with what's around and making sure that I like it. So I'm not saying have your celery sticks ready and then you're like, great, I'm going to open my eating window with celery sticks. No, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love cottage cheese with pepitas and pistachios on it. So when that's what I have ready, it's very enjoyable. So having things that you like opening your eating window with that are going to set you up for success, which for me is usually high protein, helps me if it's not my meal or just going right to my meal. Opening my eating window with my meal helps me to also just focus on that meal. And then I try to make my meals well-rounded. But when you do mess up, and I say that only in terms of when you eat more than you want, or you end your eating window and you feel like you didn't do well, or you feel crappy, let that be a learning experience. Don't beat yourself up about it. Be like, okay, well, I opened my eating window with 2 punchkis today, and then I couldn't even enjoy the steak that I had been preparing and waiting for. I think in the future, I'll make a better decision so that I actually get to enjoy the steak dinner. So swap out those foods with whatever. But that was the most instrumental for me, was thinking, okay, whatever I do right now might ruin the dinner that I'm actually looking forward to. And then focusing on, okay, I want to enjoy that dinner. What's going to help me to enjoy it? Either fasting until I get there, or opening my eating window with something protein that's going to help me feel good. It's going to do something for me and not just be junk that it's going to make me hungrier and want to eat more. Yelena, I'm hoping one of those is right. I'm sorry, but yay, down 65 pounds. Good for you. That is amazing. Woo. The fitness hutch just came to you from your 72-hour fast video. Yay. Have you done one? Or, I see a few comments down. I'm going to skip one. I'll come back. But you're on hour 23 of 72 hours. Yay, almost a third of the way done. That's exciting. Speaking of 72-hour fast, there's another group community one. If you get done with this and you want another one, it's the first. I got to look at my March days here. 1st, 2nd. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So March 3rd, I'm going to start on Sunday, break my fast on Wednesday, a 3-day fast. If anyone wants to join me, I am going to have some sort of a community where we can talk on Facebook, I think. I still have to set that up. I haven't. My life has been kind of chaos, but just to put it out there, I did want to mention that. That's coming up. But congrats to you. Thank you for watching the video, and I'm glad you're here. I look forward to hopefully next week you can either come and tell us how it went or comment on that video how you did. I'm cheering for you. Okay, I'm going to write this one down. A restaurant suggestion. Go to Cunetto's House of Pasta and get the toasted ravioli. That sounds delicious and like a food that is right up my alley. So I'm going to write that down. And my husband loves pasta, so I do not need to convince him to go to a pasta restaurant. Perfect. Thank you for the suggestion. I will definitely, one, you'll see it in a short if we go there, and I'll let you know. I look forward to that. I am on a, it's an under desk treadmill walking pad. I don't know what this is technically labeled, but it is one that's designed to go under a desk. I absolutely love it. I can go up to 2.4 miles per hour. If I wasn't on here, I would be doing that. I can work, I can type, I can do all my work. It takes, every time I do it, it takes me just a few minutes, and then I'm in a rhythm and I forget I'm walking. I think they're really great. It's just harder to talk while I'm also doing it. But I've had this for going on a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Absolutely love it. I think it's a great investment, and helps me to walk more. In my personal experience, this is from Karen. She is a fasting coach and a very trusted friend. Fasting can reverse insulin resistance in 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 months, depending on where they are and how consistent you are. Well, again, not for me, but I do trust Karen as a fasting coach. Thank you for sharing that, Karen. Alina says, have you ever gone to an event and didn't eat the food? What are your tips for doing that? Yes, but I will say I've never done it while I wanted to eat, if that makes sense. So I did go to a friend's baby shower, and I was early in my fasting journey. So if I went to the same event today, it would have been an up day. I wasn't playing around with down days and up days yet. But I had a dinner I wanted to do that night because it was a family dinner at my in-laws' house. I love those. And then hers was like a brunch earlier in the day. I just had coffee, I had water, and because I was mingling and socializing and still drinking, it did not draw attention to me that I was sitting there without eating. I think the drinks really did that. I would treat that as an up day now, but before I didn't understand how to be flexible as much. I also, so if it's something that I want to eat at, and I like to eat at events, I move my eating window to fit things that are important. So if it's something, I'm going to approach it like you are choosing you don't want to eat the food, how to get through it. One other thing I recently did, well, this was almost a year ago now, but it was an event at my kid's school. I was on a parent panel, and they had Domino's pizza brought in. It was also on a Friday, so we get pizza at home almost every Friday night. And I just didn't care to break my fast earlier in the day to eat pizza. There wasn't a salad. I didn't get to pick my toppings. They brought it in, and it sat there for about 40 minutes before we actually had lunch. Just none of it was appealing to me. I like pizza. I like hanging out with these people. But you know what I did? I had coffee. I, again, mingled. And when people ask, like, and this was one of the events that surprisingly a lot of people did notice I wasn't eating. I just said, oh, we're having pizza tonight. Or I did tell some of them that I'm fasting, but I don't apologize for it. I just say, oh, I'm not hungry right now, or I'm choosing to fast because I have dinner plans. And I don't apologize for it. I say it with confidence. And again, I really think that a lot of times having a coffee and like having something that I'm sipping, like it just takes away the attention that I'm not participating. But of course, there are going to be events, and this one, people, I was surprised, did notice that I wasn't eating. But I just, I don't say it apologetically, or like, I feel like if you seem like you're not confident in the decision, people will think, oh, poor thing's not eating. But I very confidently say, oh, I fast, I eat one meal a day. I really like to focus on having a meal that I can enjoy fully. And I choose to do that at dinner, or choose to do it at whatever other time isn't happening. And if you say it with joy and confidence, and they see you still enjoying the event, they usually just move on. So those are my tips. Hallie says, what is the longest you fasted, and do you do dry fasting? I dry fasted for 80 hours, almost 4 days, and almost passed out. I have never dry fasted. I fast with coffee, water, and iced tea and sparkling water. I have my longest fast was 100 hours. And actually I felt so good that if I hadn't had plans, I wish I would have kept going to a full 5 days. I just didn't do it. But I felt so good at 100 hours fasted. I couldn't believe how good I felt. So I've never done dry fasting. I honestly don't feel drawn to try it. Your comment doesn't get me any closer to trying it with almost passing out, but I do not dry fast. Water, coffee, tea, all without flavors is how I do it. But that's a long time. Dry fasting. That's interesting. You're welcome, Bobini. I keep wanting to say Bonnie. Merhaba. I'm from Turkey, in Istanbul, Turkey. Oh, hello. I was contacted by 2 different dentists in Turkey about putting veneers on my teeth. I don't know. Is that an Istanbul thing? But I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too. Thank you for asking. Thank you, Bobini, for the thumbs up recommendation. Guys, I am going to have to go here in just a minute. I know I have a few more comments, but I'm going to just give you that warning that in a few minutes I have to go because I have to go pick up my kids from school. Hockey Mom Avalon says, I'm having a really hard time getting back to OMAD. It used to be easy. Now I can't seem to get back to it. Any tips? Thank you. I don't know how long or what made you stop, or I guess what your struggles are. This is not going to be loving advice. Well, I say it with love. Honestly, if you know that you did well with fasting, I would just suck it up and do it for a few days in a sucky state. Like, you know, you felt good, you know, you enjoyed it. When I have taken a break from OMAD, like the worst time for me to get back to it was after my first Disney trip. It was really hard for me. Like, my body was like, oh yeah, let's keep eating, let's do it. And I just knew I wanted to get back to fasting because I felt better. I felt really good with OMAD. But the first few days, I just had to push myself. Like, there was just no, if I broke it early, I would have just prolonged that adjusting. So if you know you like it and you know you've done it well in the past, I would just make yourself get to OMAD. And if you make yourself do it 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, I would be so surprised if day 3 isn't better than day 2 was, day 4 wasn't better than day 3 was, and so on. And same as someone learning, make sure you have sparkling water. Make sure you have access to iced tea or hot tea or the drinks that you like while you're fasting. Make sure you have a variety. Make sure they're easily accessible. And maybe, you know, you have a hockey tournament coming up and you're going to be really busy. Choose those days to be the days that you jump back into fasting. Don't choose the days that you have a completely open window, or weekend where you don't have much going on. Like, hey, we have a hockey tournament coming up in a week. I'm going to choose those days to get to OMAD. You're going to be busy. You're going to have jerseys to wash and things to pack and kids to cart around places. You're going to be busy, occupy yourself, rip off the Band-Aid, get back to OMAD, and just know and remind yourself what you really liked about it. Have the drinks handy. And this is the other really important thing. Have an OMAD eating window that you really enjoy. Don't try to jump in and make it, I don't know, I can't think of a food I don't like right now. But think of, like, for me, it'd be a really yummy creamy soup with buttered bread and a giant Greek salad, like things that I really like and I'd really look forward to. Have those as your OMAD eating windows. Plan meals that you will be grateful that you fasted for. Those are my suggestions. You can do it. I don't drink caffeine. I drink Dandy Blend. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. And an alternative to coffee. Ingredients: roasted barley, roasted rye extracts, roasted dandelion root, and roasted chicory root. Will this break my fast? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that stuff differs from like tea leaves. But when I hear like roasted barley and roasted rye, like rye and barley are foods that you eat. So to me, it does seem like it would break a fast. But again, I have no experience with any of that. And I've never even heard of Dandy. So I don't really know. It's not something I would reach for, but that's more because I don't know what it is. Yay, 65 pounds down. Woohoo. Thank you, Hal Paho. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Mama's cheering for Yelena. Heidi just passed her 1-year fasting anniversary. That's amazing. Congrats. Many thanks to you, Jackie. Oh, well, I'm honored to be a small part of your journey. 30 pounds down and feel so much better. Woohoo! I am cheering for you. I love it. Yes, Leah says, I'm 4 hours away from a 72-hour fast. Yes, that's amazing. I feel great. I'll break it with shrimp, broccoli, and avocado. I also do 10,000 steps daily. Thank you, Jackie, for all the info you share and being so relatable. You're welcome. And I love that for you. I'm so excited. And the same with Heidi. I'm just honored to be like a small part of your life. It is very humbling to me and kind of hard to believe, but I love it. And I'm excited for you. And I'm excited for your step challenge. I love walking, and I think I'm going to challenge myself to do some sort of a step goal for a month this summer and just see how it feels. Because I like to walk. For me, it's so much more like mental than physical, but I get in the habit of like, well, I'm already on the couch. I'll edit on the couch. I want to get myself in the habit more of like choosing the walking pad, which I do, but it's just easier to choose not to do it. So there we go. I love your shorts. Thank you. Bobini's celebrating everyone's victories. I love it too. Oh, thank you. Loves the first bite of the day. Some of those are kind of embarrassing to film because I'm around other people, but I'm getting better at not caring. So I'm glad you like them. Kieran says, great advice, Jackie. Love it. Another idea I like to get back to OMAD was I've done 18 hours with 2 meals one day, and then OMAD, then 18 back and forth. Seems to help get back. Oh, I love that idea. That's great. Because you're still getting a longer fast, but allowing yourself maybe the transition. Thanks for sharing that, Kieran. Okay, that was the last one that's on here. No one sent a message. But I hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day. Love on those in your life. I hope you get love back. I'm sending it to you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to go and enjoy the sunshine and pick up my kiddos. Have a good one.